Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 3 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password is provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 3 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find the list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter multiplication skill builders. The lessons we're going to go today are multiply by 0, multiply by 1, multiply by 2, and multiply by 3. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil, the important examples and definitions as well. Let's just start with the first lesson, that is multiply by 0. So we're going to learn how do we multiply the numbers by 0, right? So multiplying numbers with 0 is very easy because anything multiplied by 0 is 0. It is that easy. Basically, whatever number you are multiplying with 0, the answer is always a 0. 0 times 1 is 0. 0 times 2 is 0. 0 times 3 is 0. 0 times 4 is 0. 0 times 5 is 0. 0 times 6 is 0. So you can keep going like whatever number it is, if it is 1000, 10,000, or 5,000. If it is you are multiplying it by the 0, the answer is always the 0. Let's just start with the test questions. Zero times 0 is 0 times 0 is 0. Option number 2 is the correct option. 7 times 0, right? Whatever number it is, multiplying by 0 means 0 times 8 is 0 times 8 is 0. Option number 3 is the correct option. Zero times 9 is 0 it is. Option number 1 is the correct option. Two times 0 is 2 times 0 is 0. Option number 3 is the correct option. One times 0 is 1 times 0 is 0. Option number 1 is the correct option. Zero times 5 is 0. Option number 2 is the correct option. Zero times 6 is 0. Option number 3 is the correct option. Three times 0 is 3 times 0 is 0. Option number 2 is the correct option. 4 times 0 is 4 times 0 is 0. Option number 3 is the correct option. Zero times 3 is 0 times 3 is 0. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is multiply by 1. Multiply. How do we multiply? How do we multiply by 1? So whatever number it is, if you are multiplying any number with 1, the answer is always the same number. The number stays the same. Whatever number it is, if you are multiplying the number with 0, the number stays the same. So 1 times 9 is 9. The number stays the same. Whatever number it is, the number stays the same. Start questions. One times 7 is 7. So whatever number it is, if you are multiplying it by the 1, the number stays the same. Eight times 1 is 8. Option number 2 is the correct option. One times 1 is 1. Option number 2 is the correct option. One times 2 is 2. Option number 1 is the correct option. 2 times 1 is 2. Option number 2 is the correct option. One times 9 is, yes, 9 it is. Option number 2 is the correct option. So whatever number it is, if you are multiplying the number with 1, the number stays the same. 4 times 1 is, 1 times 4 is 4. Option number 1 is the correct option. One times 8 is, 1 times 8 is 8. Option number 2 is the correct option. Three times 1 is 3. Option number 1 is the correct option. One times 0, so you are multiplying it by the 0, right? So whatever number you are multiplying with 0, the number is 0, right? If either it is 1, the answer is 0. One times 4 is 4. Option number 2 is the correct option. One times 5 is 5. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay. 1 times 2 is, 1 times 2 is 2. Option number 1 is the correct option. 8 times 1 is 8. Option number 2 is the correct option. 10 times 1 is 10. Option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, we are done with the lesson. Let's just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is multiply by 2. So now we are going to learn how do we multiply the numbers by 2. Got it? No one is replying. Why? 10 times 2. It will be 2 times 0, 0, and 2 times 1 is 2. Multiplication tables are very, very important. If you want to be perfect with maths, you need to be perfect with the multiplication tables. You can't do division if you are not good with multiplication tables, right? Let's just start with the test questions. Two times 8. 2 times 8 is 16. Option number 2 is the correct option. 10 times 2 is 20. Option number 1 is the correct option. 2 times 10 is 20. Option number 1 is the correct option. 2 times 6 is 12. It is 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 0 is, yes, 0 it is. Option number 2 is the correct option. Any number when multiplying by 0, the answer is always a. Basically, that is exactly the same like you do the skip counting by twos. They are the same thing. but we can write it as multiplication tables. 0 times 2 is 0. 2 times 6 is 12. Option number 1 is the correct option. Nine times 2 is 18. It is the correct option is 18. 8 times 2 is 2 times 8 is 16. It is option number 1 is the correct option. 10 times 2 is 10 times 2 is 20. Option number 2 is the correct option. 10 times 2 is 20. Option number 2 is the correct option. 2 times 2 is 4. 8 times 2 is 8 times 2 is 16. Option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, we are done with the lesson. Let's just move on to next lesson. That is multiply by 3. So multiplying by 3 is same as skip count by 3s, right? So 3 times 0. Any number multiplying by 0 means 0. Let's just start with the test questions. 3 times 3 is yes, 3 times 3 is 9. Option number 2 is the correct option. 3 times 6 is 3 times 6 is 18. Option number 2 is the correct option. 3 times 6 is 6 times 3 is 18. Option 2 is the correct option. What 3 times 5 is 15. Option number 2 is the correct option. 3 times 4 is 12 it is. 3 times 4 is 12. Ten times 3 is 30 it is. Option number 2 is the correct option. 3 times 5 is 3 times 5 is 15. Option number 2 is the correct option. 0 times 3 is 0. Option number 3 is the correct option. 3 times 2 is 6. Option number 2 is the correct option. 7 times 3 is 21 it is. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 1 math. Chapter we were sorry, grade 3 math. Chapter we are working on is multiplication skill builders. The lessons we have covered today are multiply by 0, multiply by 1, multiply by 2, and multiply by 3. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did until next session. So if you need more help with any of the lessons, you can simply click on the live chat button. Tutors are a few, or either you can write them down in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. So, any questions you can please ask. If you have any, I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. Questions? No questions? Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the next session. Bye, everyone.